So my name is Ann Cartledge, and I've lived in Stoke all my life, so I was born in Stoke-on-Trent. So now I live in Newcastle-under-Lyme. So I did go to the Mount School in Penkhull, the school for the deaf.
And how did you find it? What was it like to kind of go there?
Yeah, it was really good. The teachers weren't very good. The work was too easy for me, really. Lots of deaf people there didn't have the same language skills as myself, so it was okay. I liked the social aspect of school with all the children there at that time. So, yeah, that was the main thing about school.
So, growing up in Stoke-on-Trent as somebody that is deaf, what kind of experiences did you have? And
it was difficult for deaf people. So, you know, when I was born, my parents obviously, when they knew I was deaf, they found that quite difficult. I went to the doctors and had found out that I was deaf. So my parents were quite shocked. Obviously, they didn't know what to do, and lots of people hadn't heard about deaf people before at that time. So when my parents found out, you know, it was quite difficult. And then at 18 months old, you know, they did realise that I was deaf. Originally, I went to a school in Manchester when I was 2 years old, but really, I found that quite difficult. My parents didn't use sign language to me, so yeah, that was quite difficult and quite frustrating. So yeah, that was, you know, the way of it when I was growing up. But, you know, I did grow up all right, but communication was the main issue. I was happy at school, but it was quite difficult when I was at home because my parents didn't use sign language. So, so I never used my voice. I feel embarrassed sometimes if I use my voice. But my father did try and encourage me, but yeah, I wasn't used to it. I didn't feel it was comfortable. So I love mixing with other deaf people, and lots of people here today are from the same school as myself. And the deaf community is quite a small community. So yeah, I feel a lot happier with deaf people.
so you've had the same kind of group of friends since school. Did you all kind of have similar jobs and stuff in the area, or did you all kind of spread out after that?
Well, some people are older than me, so yeah, I do know them from the same school. Some are older than me, so they are different ages. So I worked at Royal Dalton, and there was no deaf people there at that particular time. I used to communicate with pen and paper, and sometimes I could lip read, but other times I found it difficult to lip read other people because of, you know, how they were talking. If I knew the person, then I got used to it. So labourers, for example, you know, when they were bringing work and the work wasn't of a good standard, you know, they thought they could just pass it off onto me, but so I did challenge them sometimes because it affected the piecework that I was doing. So yeah, I didn't want deaf people to be at the bottom rung of the ladder. So I just wanted all people to be at the same level and have the same standard of work. So after I finished at Dalton's, I moved to Spode, and there was a few other deaf people there, and I used to help them, you know, just to communicate. But there wasn't a lot of deaf people on the factories. They were mainly non-deaf people.
Just quickly, what was her job role? What was her responsibilities at Royal Dalton and Spode?
So I worked as a lithographer. So taking the transfers off the paper, then putting them onto cups, saucers, plates. So I worked 45 years lithographing. I really liked that job. Different patterns, different shapes. So piecework, obviously. So when I first started, it was obviously quite difficult. But as soon as I got used to it and got experience at it, then I found it quite easy. I've retired now, so I don't do that work anymore. Yeah, so talking about my family as well, my daughter, she uses sign language. Her partner died a few years ago. I've got a couple of grandchildren as well, so my daughter helps me, and I help my daughter looking after the children. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult when I'm looking after the children and my daughter's at work. And on a Monday and Thursday, I meet other deaf people at the Bridge Centre because the deaf club has closed in Stoke. So they've actually moved to a new building. So Monday morning, the coffee morning, and then Thursdays, sometimes we meet in Newcastle also. And sometimes in Longton, so every couple of weeks we play bingo in Stoke also. And, we've come here today just before bingo, and we're obviously doing this activity. So, I'm quite disappointed that the Deaf Club has closed because I've been going there, obviously, since I was younger. But as I say, we do meet quite regularly. My husband passed away a few years ago, so it's nice to carry on meeting friends, and they're like brothers and sisters to me now.